Let's start with setting up a reverse proxy with Caddy. So I already have an existing Caddy installation in my server, so I will edit it and add a new entry for the SuperToken core endpoint. Paste it anyway. Okay, I'll update the port to the port that is being used by SuperToken, that is 3567, and update the subdomain to SuperToken right here. SuperToken. So every time I hit this endpoint, it will proxy the request to localhost 3567 in this server. I'll reload. I can do this step at the end once I have my SuperToken core service up and run. So reload is not working, so I'll go to the restart. Let's see the status of Caddy service. So it's active and running. If we see the logs, okay, so we have our Caddy file updated and now we have restarted the service. So I need to go to DNS to add this endpoint with this IP address, Oracle Linux ARN. So I'll add it to my DNS. Currently I'm using Google Register, so I'll add a record with SuperToken, and then value would be the IP address of this VM. Now I'm not getting it done. So if I go to the endpoint, it should make the request to Google DNS, and DNS should give me the IP address. Right now I can see if there is any log regarding certificate allocation. Yes, so there is a message of certificate obtained successfully for SuperToken test bucket XYZ. Let me refresh this. It's not loading anything because now we don't have any service running on 3567 port, so that's why we're not getting any response in UI. You just verify the same with IP address and then port number. It's not loading because either the service is not running on this port or this port is not exposed. Let's try with the call in local. Okay, so connection issued by the PM, so it's not running. I tried with Docker Compose. It was provided by SuperToken, but it is not running the service. So now that we have our reverse proxy in place, let's focus on running the application in port 3567. So every time we make a request to SuperToken, we should be proxied to that core service. So here is a blog post by SuperToken on configuring the database and SuperToken core service. So there are two options. One is with Docker and another one is without Docker. So they have option of adding two database. One is Postgres, another is MySQL. I will go ahead with Postgres. I already have a database running, Postgres database, so I can reuse that. So I'll go ahead with Postgres without Docker and SuperToken with Docker. So what I need to do is have the Docker file available in my local and then start it, and then pass connection URI, and that will be generated from the Docker connection URI. So before that I need to create a database, give it access to do modifications in PostgreSQL, and then pass it as Postgres connection URI. Okay. I am executing these commands in tviewer that is connected to my Postgres instance. So it has committed. It's now I need to format the docker run command with updated environment variable, that is Postgres connection URI. Okay, so let's get here. I have already replaced the user details, password and host IP. So if we do docker ps, we can see this image. Yeah, so it's up like 14 seconds and we can see our image running, registration protocol.io. Now if we go to that endpoint, it should give us something. Since we have done the correct port mapping, let's verify it again. So the first container is running like 54 seconds and it is mapping the port to 3567 to 3567. So if we go to the system IP address colon port number, it should give us the results. The container is healthy. If it's not giving, that means the port is not exposed to. Okay, so reverse proxy is working since the port is not available to public endpoint, so it's not working. So I have this reverse proxy and that is now redirecting the request to that localhost 3567 in port, and it's working fine. So this command is working fine now. I can just save it somewhere. Okay, so now this docker compose is not required, so I can get rid of it. Alright, so I need to update the connection URI to the endpoint that on which the SuperToken core service is running. So our application will be making a request to this connection URI, and this connection URI will be making the update on DB that was being passed as an environment variable. So using the endpoint testbucket.xyz as the domain. So what will happen is whenever you read auth.testbucket.xyz and you log into the application, it will set a cookie with domain as .testbucket.xyz. So any subdomain that is available with testbucket.xyz, abc.testbucket.xyz, xyz.testbucket.xyz, so they will be able to get this cookie that is being set by auth.testbucket.xyz, right? So it will be like one login for multiple subdomains. Actually, the testbucket.xyz should be common in all of them, right? So let's push it to GitHub. I've initialized the Git. Now I need to start this. Okay. Let's update the readme. It is not required, so I'll just get rid of it. Is there anything important? No. It's already available, so I just get rid of it. Maybe I should put that Docker on here. Just leave it blank for now. Environment will I should get rid of it because I'm not using any third-party provider now. Just email, password, so we should be good. What else is required? Let's go to app info and update the application name to auth server. We should be good. Maybe I should make this domain, cookie domain, as an environment variable, right? So you don't have to hard code in the code. Cookie domain equals to test bucket. I'll capitalize it. We have two variables, app URL and next public app URL. Next public app URL is for client side, so next is will override, replace that with string value. Let's create a utils folder and add a helper method to see if application is running on remote or local host. With that, we can manipulate the cookie domain to localhost if it's running in localhost, and to .test bucket if it's running on a remote server. So leave it. Let's it should be good. You can just verify first and then add the changes. I need to add app URL next public app URL. That's a not variable. Okay, so before that, everything looks okay. I have not used anything from here. I have cookie domain as .test bucket.xyz, docker command. Do I need to do anything else? No, right. Let's push it. add a commit. Okay, so I need to run git add first, then add commit, then let's initiate a repo, ch repo, create repo name, go with super token auth. Let's go with super token. Enter. It did not run properly. Let's see. Okay, we need to pass it either public or private. Okay, copy private. Okay, let's see if it attached any remote. No remote is present. So let's open that repo and add a remote to it. Git repo. Maybe change repo. Let's go to the browser. Go to home. Git repository. SuperToken auth. Post an existing repository from command line. Copy and paste. Now we have our remote. Let's post it. Let's set it upstream. Let's refresh the Git repository. Content should be available. Yeah, push is successful. So let's try again. Yes, we have the content now. Let's go to Vercel and get a pipeline over there. So every time we press the GitHub, it should build and deploy the new website for us. Let's create a new project from Git. So it's not available yet. So it are just the Git repo. Click on that. Okay. Use GitHub mobile to authorize. Okay. Where's my phone? 13. Right. So let's expand, scroll down, add the new repository to it. And this is super auth. Okay, so we should save, and in the change should reflect in Vercel. Yeah, so we have our super auth. Let's import it, and trade name is fine. Deploy. It should build and deploy and attach domain names. So it should be something .vercel.app. You can add a custom domain to it. Build failed. I think app helper.ts is empty. So that's why TypeScript failed. Let's get rid of all that. It's not required. Commit fix build. Push. Vercel should auto detect the change and retrigger the build for it. Yep, we're building. while the deployment is being done, I can add a custom domain to it. Let's go to manage domains. I only have the CNAME required to point to Vercel DNS, so I'll add a CNAME entry with auth and Vercel's endpoint. It should point. So if I paste it here and add, it should verify as build is successful and the auth is already mapped. So if I click on that, it should deploy certificate. It redirect to localhost 3000. Let's log in for now. No session exists. All the request is failing because of foot not one unauthorized. If I go to application is not available in Chrome. Let's try again with auth. Let's redirect to localhost 3000. That means there is no session available with that domain, so it's redirecting to authentication page. Driving Vercel app is still going to localhost 3000. Okay. I only have a localhost 3000 port running. Okay. So we are giving website domain from next public UI. Okay, so we don't have anything specified in environment variable, so it's picking as localhost 3000 as the website domain, so that's why it's redirecting. Let's go ahead with the environment update. So SuperToken auth settings, environment variables. So I need to add two variables. One is app URL, another one is next next public app URL. So I'll add https and auth.txt and another entry will be app URL only. That's for server side. Copy paste. Let's go over to app info. Let's go to app info and copy this app URL and save. Okay, so I need to select the environment, production and development. Save. It should reflect below. Yeah, we have our environment variables. So let's go to project. It's not triggering any build. No. Let's go to our endpoint. Yes, it's still redirecting the localhost. I don't think it has reflected the environment change that we did. Let's go for a redeployment. Is there any option to redeploy? Previous version? No. Just project settings. This is the master branch that's picked by a Vercel. Option no. Let's go to there should be logs deployment. This was the last successful build. Yeah, redouble options. Deploy without build cache. scroll down. Okay, let's go to auth, and there is no redirect. Application is running, find it, inspect. Okay, took some time to display the application. Yes, I logged in successfully. If I go to application, I've opened it in Chrome. The application tab is missing. Copy this, let's go to Edge. You can see the application tab, local storage, cookies and all. There is application, cookies. If you see, the domain is set to .testbucket.xyz, and if you call, we are getting the user information, JWT and everything. Okay, so if I go to user API call, you can see the cookie value is being sent from client to server, and local storage is empty, session storage is empty, so all the values are available in cookie. So this is token, this is access token. If I copy this value and go to jot.io, you can see the payload. Easy return chart. Header is empty. Signature is verified. Getting some body. Usually you get some data in the header, keyed and all. That's for JWK's RSA verification. So for now we're good. We have all the information stored in cookie, so we don't have to make any changes. It should automatically add that to header. Let's see if we are getting this cookie value in a different subdomain of testbucket.xyz, and if the cookie is getting added to the header request. Let's start with Kong. It's not available. Let's see how many subdomains are available. Store should be there. Store.testbucket.xyz. If I update, yep, it's loading. Let's see if header is being updated. Yep, the same cookie value is getting added to the request header. That is being made to some subdomain.testbucket.xyz. If you go to application tab, we can see that same cookie value is available in a different endpoint. So we have one authentication service that is providing the cookie, and rest other subdomains are getting that in header and verifying whether the same user is making the request to other subdomains or not.